After going down to Missouri and playing Rockwood Summit, losing by just 6 points, Moline back at home this week against Sycamore. But let's talk about what takeaways you had from that close loss with Moline, where that could take them this year.
Well, that Rockwood Summit team's a tough team. They played last year at Browning. Tight game, went to OT. Moline was able to win by one. It was a game where it had a lot of ups and downs. Just looking here, they had a little bit of those week one undisciplined jitters, and it's not jitters, but just a little bit undisciplined in week one. And sometimes you have that. Sometimes in a game where it's two evenly matched teams that are, especially at a higher level in week one, you're going to have some clunkiness, right? It's a shock if you get a completely clean game, and Moline kind of fell victim of that. They had 10 preset penalties, 4 turnovers. Their sophomore quarterback, Kason Ponder, who has a lot of talent, but he did throw 3 interceptions in that game, so a bit of a tough night for him. And, those are just things that it gives them an opportunity to clean up. So the fact that they had those moments and they were still right there in striking distance, it came down to the wire. I'm sure that's a little win that they're going to take, but obviously it's going to be frustrating. Coming back from the long trip, they probably felt like that they maybe let one get away last week.
Sycamore coming in now this week. That's another tough team. They're already 1-0 this season. Well, what does that do, though, for the Maroons to have it now out on their home field?
Having it at home is nice. You don't have to travel. Obviously, that trip to Missouri is tough. But this team that they are playing is Moline does a good job of going out and playing these teams. They find ways to schedule some tougher games for them. For this Moline team, playing Sycamore, they were 11-1 last year, so they lost. Their only loss came in the quarterfinals. They are 39-9 over the last 4 seasons. They knocked off DeKalb by 1 last week. So this is a tough opponent for them, and Moline definitely. I think the biggest thing is going to be looking from week 1 to 2 is what can they clean up. Some of those mistakes, maybe some things at the line of scrimmage that I heard that they were maybe not as happy with. But definitely when you look at the penalties and the turnovers, if you clean that up, who knows? Maybe you can close that gap. Sometimes those things kind of take care of itself.
This one on the new turf field as well over at Browning. What do you see there? How exciting is that?
Well, Coach Morrissey was talking all offseason about how fast his team was.
So this is true. He told me it was the fastest he's ever seen.
So you're going to find out on Friday, that's for sure. So I'm sure a lot of people are going to be excited from everything I've seen, just driving around and driving by it. It looks great. It looks lovely. You got the drop of Wharton in the backfield as always, which is nice. So it's going to be fun. I'm sure that the environment there is going to be great, and welcoming a team that has some really rich history over the last near half decade in Sycamore should be a very fun matchup on Friday.
On the new turf Friday night, Moline